Hello, good morning, dear my students. Today my topic is the Hindu newspaper GSCIAS. Related to this, Supreme Court to ahead pledge against the sale of the electoral bonds. This news is the important related to men's paper 2. India has accused Sri Lanka of the support ahead of the UNHRC vote. Foreign security of the say Colombo aspiration by the States. Road weave freed of the troll bots in air, say the Nitin Gadkari. This news is not important related to the UPSC and when you are reading the newspaper very carefully the topics. Arvind resigned from Ashok University. This news is not important related to the UPSC. High Court reserve verdict on the Tahan bill please. He has been the custody since May 2020. This news is related to this UPSC mains paper 2. Mains paper 2. And next news is not important. This the Hindu newspaper. No of Delhi vaccines of this increased by the threefold, say Kejriwal. This news is not important related to UPSC. City Day 113 of the farmer start backdrop shift but instancy of the remain intact. Baby beaten by mirror help still critical. Democratic help the annuance by 13 months audit custody crisis. Aam Aadmi Party blamed by Javed for 22 cities farming of the among the world of the 30 most of the populated. Next, Delhi Honor School Education Board registered official. Northeast outraged by the Rajasthan textbook content Rak in the Haryana Assembly order damage recovery bill. Right to curfew stand in Punjab. PM take off the digest to the Trinamool Congress slogan. Uttarakhand flood. One more body found. This news is not important. A special of the MP MLA court in the UP sentence ex MP to 2 years jail. Bihar Assembly passed Lok Lokyata Amendment Bill. Maharashtra hits new peak with 25,833 COVID-19 case. Editorial editorial. It is the important UPSC mains paper, essay and thought clear related to the GS paper 2. Biden and the West Asian tender box. Next phase I can explain the topic. First, explain in the topic. Biden and the West Asian tender box. The United States in the sunset power in the resign by the Pakistan faced challenge in respecting American. Satyale Jones said that it took just 36 days of the United States President Biden order to his first year streak award since taking office on the February 25. It is the U.S. bombed faculties used by the backup military is the Syria in the relation for the rocket attack of the America base in the Erbil, the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan. Earlier it is the month allegedly by the pro-Iran Silla military and by the Iraqi. The next day of the administration released of the intelligence reported on the killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi inside Saudi Arabia. Istanbul consult in the October 2018, which is the consult that Saudi Crown Prime Mohammed bin Salman ordered to the operation. Separately, it is the Biden administration has kept a step to review Iran nuclear deal and asked to the Islamic Republic to completely within the term by this multiple agreement that the reached in 2015, but abandoned by former United States President Donald Trump in 2018. This paragraph said that the Biden 25 days before the United States President. This is the administrative control the America and this first Saudi Arabia and Iraq related to the 2nd October 2018, which is the consult by the Saudi Crown Prime Mohammed bin Salman related to the operation, and Biden administration has been this keep review. So then after result is the multiple agreement reached the 2015 and US President Donald Trump in 2018. Next topic, the strategy reality. These three decisions may not be directly interlinking but they drew the broad outline of the Mr. Biden West Asia policy. Among all American presidents since the Second World War have to left drape policy imprint on the region. Barack Obama and the Mr. Trump sought to refuge away from the West Asia to this East Asia where China it is the rising, but they did not differently. Mr. Obama identify Iran nuclear program as his primary foreign policy challenge. It is the recognized as the could not by Israel nuclear monopoly and the tiger on this arm race and south of the address. Diplomatically, this way was also not be reduced. Conversation by this going on the with Iran could not be resistance. Mr. Trump book or more than hostile approach toward Iran ban denoted the nuclear deal. Remy posed sanctions to Tehran of cues under unconsidered supported to the Saudi Arabia and Israel. It is the talking to Iran Pacific and even as the sensitive to top Iranian general, but Mr. Trump was also careful not to be open and direct war with Iran. He ordered to his the Qasem Soleimani in a queue not inside Iran when Iran related to the flying missiles at America Biden's Iraq or when it is the shot down to America drone over the Gulf. Mr. Trump chose not the order counter attract. Mr. Biden faced to the same strategy. Reality which is the greater urgently the composition which is the China has received memories of the Cold War. It is the administration has the moved fast to build an alliance system in the Indo-Pacific. Mr. Biden can't get stuck in the West Asia for the too long, but they cannot just leave. It is the region which has some of the American closest affair and hostage thousands of the East drop. Either his the trial decision suggests that he lied to Obama has identified the Iran nuclear program as the key challenge because if that the not track it could not trigger a chain of the indicate of the drawing not but US and the alliance Iran and the pro-Logans collected to the region which is could not shoot down his prelude to this Indo-Pacific. Obama was normally of course in the Iran nuclear program. He did not use focus against the Iran or the proxies that could have ends of nuclear talk. Mr. Biden, on the other hand, has set the more ambitious plan in motion by offering truck to this Iran will at the same time have bombing Iranian proxies and the ending support for the Saudi Arabia war on the Yemen to releasing the intelligence exposed on it is the fact to leader it is the seeking into the streak of the violence between the region to this powerful one of the only names this other rival. Next topic, the Iran deal to a trickling clock. But Mr. Biden faced that latest three key challenge in the hit why to reach up the USS agreement, which is the region. One is the decision to bombing pro-Iran military in the Syria in the related to this attack by the Iran-backed military. It is the Iraqi could be read in the Iran as the week of the thought wearing. Mr. Trump ordered to the Soleimani seat is the Iraq. Mr. Biden picked Syria further away from the Iran. When to the Iranian was killed, the Trump administration claimed that the track is started by American deterrence, but the fact Syria intelligence of the continue by the target. American composition inside the Iraq and the rocker attract the even after Mr. Biden. Mr. Biden want to say that Syria inside the attract target by United States presence of the continue in the Iraq. After Mr. Biden stopped American superpower of the Yasmin war, the hostile backed by the Iran in this the also stopped the attack against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will attack the counter at the track by continue Mr. Biden losing previous time to the reserve the nuclear deal. Iran it is the going to the presidential election by the June. Mr. Biden based the practically with the contain Iran nuclear program. It is the reviewing the deal and the waste of the review the deal to the due to the before President Hassan Rouhani, who government signed by the original agreement in 2015. Leave of the clock is the strickling. Next topic, Saudi Arabia and Israel. Two, if the US dependent on the Saudi Arabia has received by the recent year, Riyadh's dependent on the Washington has also come down in the challenge-based Asia. The United States did not nothing when Saudi oil facilities came under the attack of the September 2019. The Saudis know that American ability is the shaping geopolitical outcome the West Asia. West Asia declined by today, there are more the powerful countries. It is the region that the Tokyo, it is the Russia, MBS as the Saudi Crow Prince is the widely called, has establishment a good working relationship with Russia, with Mir Putin, Vladimir Putin, foresting the sum of the bloc back from the Biden administration. He moved by quickly the mad try which is the cute every narrating the separating by Christian of the United Arab Emirates. On March 7, in the appreciation difference of America call of the end to the war of the Yemen. Saudi Arabia crushed by the massive air attack to the country. Country amendment by the hosting by attract unless there it is the place crop MBBS is a set become the monarch when it is the further killing slogan live off the throne which Washington will be have to delay within the him and when it is the does not why the have opposition and the side then further. Unless to this grandfather did not understand by this Biden related to the America. 3. The elephant is the Rome is Israel. How is Mr. Biden going to the Israel into his large such a scheme of the things the best Asia? If Mr. Biden say that talk human rights to the Saudi Arabia and ignore the right to abused by Israel, which is the being investigated by the International Criminal Court by alleged war crime in the accused Palestinian territories. His policy would look hello if the holding Iran accountability for the action of the Shia military by ordering air strike. The Mr. Nothing of the stop Israel ever expanding settlement on the accused West Bank. He could not be accused by double standard and if the take the touch line toward Israel it is the public of the them the reserve. It is the Israel by peace process within the plantain that the time to win administration seek the urgent of the Iran to the nuclear delay. It could be not further if read by the Israel, who it is the past headed cried out intelligent operations of the targeted by killing miss inside Iran. An agency Israel can be the latest torpedo Mr. Biden Iran policy. Last topic is the China is the focus now. Which types of the China focus? Biden, Mr. Biden does not have to anyway easy out of this Asian tender box. Mr. Obama had narrow globe success for Mr. Biden could be depend largely on how they manage to the balance between three key power in the region. He may be hoping that the hybrid strategy of the touch posting issue of the limited force and the diplomatic outrage of the could yield result could not be worked 20 years ago, which is the United States published for democracy, a focused by the Egypt by housing Mubarak to hold multi-party election. The United States today it is by sunset power in the West Asia. It is the strategy focus in the China, both America alliance and the rival. No doubt, it is a geopolitical concerns by the need necessary follow the plan of this action. Dismantle the power of the diffuse power to unseen. Assembly polls Congress under the sign the based on this news is not important related to the Union Public Service Commission. Today I am going to the international news. I explain the topic news. Rajya Sabha passed bill to raise FDI limit in the insurance sector. Don't stereotype women in the court ruling Supreme Court tells judge. LS pass supplementary demand of the grant news COVID-19 cases crore 37,000 crore. Supreme Court transfer COVID-19 vaccine case of the itself. This news is not important related to this UPSC. Dear my students, today my topic is the world. Due regulated back AstraZeneca vaccine after safety investigation. AstraZeneca vaccine. Wenji said to no compromise to this sovereigns ahead by the key meet. Russia holds Afghan peace meet. Next topic the Austin visit may allow concern about Indo-Pacific Afghanistan. Secretary of the Defense Lordly Austin will meet Rajnath Singh, other official in New Delhi. This news is important to the international newspaper too and UPSC news. March on the action United States region relation to the happening of the Asia Week the almost of the Asia focused. United States Secretariat of the State of the Defense Anthony Blinken and the Lolly Austin were on the trip on the Tokyo and Seoul since Tri Austin is heading to New Delhi after Seoul by the Secretariat. Blinken will the approach Alka, where we attract National Secretariat Advisor of the Jack Sullivan will meet their count, counterpart of the Vigya and the Yag JCC. For this first China-US bilateral to the Biden administration. In India, Mr. Austin, it is the scheduled to meet Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and the other senior national security official, presumably by NSA Ajit Doval. Top of the list, they will discuss the deepening of the major defense partnership. The present by the said when announcement of the visit. They also discuss the Indo-Pacific and the expected of the discuss operationalizing the fundamental agreement of the US defense cooperation, the last of the which was the signed in October, the Biden exchange on the cooperation amendment. Chinese cooperation. I have no doubt that the discourse will be the candle behind closed door. What's the road watching the however it is the weather to the secretariat speak openly the New Delhi about the US or joint effected to counter Chinese correction arose the Indo-Pacific or fall back to the more operated refuse to share that, said Joshua White, a professor of the Johnson Hopkins SAC and the former South Asia director in the Obama National Security Council. There are new few cell in the work as well as including the S.3 billion Paul Dell of the 30 armed duration from the General Atomic, which is the final strategy of the wing cleared by the defense minister. Defense Minister Secretary visiting the New Delhi as part of his the maiden visit aboard or may also help shape partnership about the resume a visit to New Delhi on the first trip aboarded by the might. Also the design to layer cornered at the Secretariat. A former commandant of United States Central Command with the deep experience in the Middle East was not going to give the Indo-Pacific Indian due to the Mr. White said decision to this around Afghanistan are also expected by the US, the trying to the faculty, a peace deal, visa and enter Afghanistan dialogues. As the tried to sense by May 1st, deadline for the troop withdrawal that Mr. Trump had committed to this part of the deal within the Taliban. United States President John Biden said that greeting the America Trump of the by the deadline could happen, but it is the truth in the ABC interview that aired by on Wednesday. The president also said the deadline of the extended could not be punished back much longer. The fact it is the was not be the solely the former president of the work of the he said, and the we where is the consultation within the our ordinance as well as the Afghanistan. Afghanistan government and the decision to end this progress now. Worldwide India was not visited to the Tuesday worked in the Moscow on the intra-Afghan statement. It is the part of the proposed United States stand plan for the Union Conference or the statement. India corner about the Afghanistan and US the withdrawal are therefore likely to feature in Mr. Austin discourse in the New Delhi. Neither could be celebrated by the Secretariat of the Defense is the make the announcement visit the Afghanistan. G. Matter, former Defense Secretary, dropped in the on US and led by Trump. It is the Afghanistan in September 2018. Which is the Trump administrator by the administration was try to the push a peace deal. It is the country. The presentation, however, had the nothing to announcement on the Afghanistan. When the Hindu asked the Mr. Austin could be visiting the country. Talk CAATSA. Then there it is the question by the United States of the India for the buying the $4 Russian missiles defense system. India, which paid just under $5 billion for equipment of the region, shocking try to system this year, potentially by the kinking of the sentence under the 2017 U.S. law of the Countering America Advisory, the Trump Bicentennial Act CAASA. Central Bomb member Rise the Democratic who chair the Senate Amendment Force Committee wrote the Mr. Austin which week asking him to rise not just S for dollar, S for sentence possible. If by the interlocal it is the Delhi, but also corner the about erodes the democratic normal in India. Repression by supported India continued to enjoy Pakistan supported to capital of the hill, but also this came into interested in the India reacted to development of the within the country. The latest of this sector of the mandate by suggests Congress to within the play of active role shaping the US-India relationship with the Samarlal Warni director of the Sri Monsoon by Center South Asia program. I respected the presentations of this continue of the threat of consequence of the deep United States in India. Defense cooperation if the India induced the Russia made S-400 system. At the same time, I expected India. It is the pursued within the pursued by moment because of does not bolster of defense, particularly against the China and the pleb Chinese of the Air Force. Mr. Lal Wantini said. Pure of his departure from New Delhi journey, former United States Ambassador K. Nath Juster had said that CAATSA was not designed to the harm friend and alliance of the US. His commitment were made not long after the Trump administration centered by the Tokyo, NATO, all of the US. In December for its S-4 purchase, Congress had damaged in section by the defense bill passed in the 2020. First, the executive of this law was not provided the section welfare of this continue. For the Biden, it is the national interest of the United States to the country questions cooperating which is the US. On the Secretariat matter on this country reduced by the release by this Russia. This topic is end. So editorial it is the important. Russia halts Afghan peace of the made this news is important international news. Next, business. Business is not related to the UPSC related. Rise case by will lead RBI to delay liquid of the normalization. This news is a paper theory economics UPSC mains paper theory related to the RBI mains paper theory. Sport is not related. Thank you. This news is complete.